this. All these players are playing for money. He's playing for pride. He's playing to win it all. The log bait god, it's Ryley!
Ryley Goldberg, known simply as Ryley to most of the community, is a professional Clash Royale player whose mastery of the game has inspired thousands. He's not just a top player, he is a figure who pushed an entire archetype to its limits, inspired countless rising talents, and left his mark on tournaments around the world.
I'm gonna piggies here. I'm gonna log for the Valk Evo, because he has the Evo, then I ability immediately just to try to damage that. Nice, and you see my log reset the attack, so then the piggies kept running instead of getting knocked back, and I won.
You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. No. You're actually the GOAT. You are the GOAT! Bro,
yeah, I
nice
predicted the Valkyrie
defense!
with the log.
That's a good start. That's a good
You
start.
have Spirit, so I'm gonna Ice Spirit to predict it.
Oh my god! No, stop, bro.
That's good damage.
The ways you get damage is so creative, it's insane.
I might just Archer split right now.
Yo.
Before Ryley became a household name in the Clash Royale community, there was a young, determined player building his identity in the shadows of his screen. He's kept much of his personal life private, choosing to let his gameplay speak for him. But Ryley hasn't always had a smooth journey. For instance, he's been banned by Supercell 3 times, but for reasons you wouldn't expect, openly admitting mistakes and learning from them. Rather than hiding from criticism, he leans into transparency, explaining his decisions in matches, reflecting on his strategy, and showing real-world consequences of his competitive drive. His personality is analytical, sometimes meme-worthy, yeah, people joke about him being a goblin, but always real. He's built his YouTube channel from the ground up since May of 2021, and all of that begins with a simple deck. Logbait. Logbait isn't just another archetype, it's a relic from 2016, born the moment Supercell released the log. And within that legacy, one player rose above everyone else, Ryley, widely recognized as the greatest logbait player in the entire community. Ryley launched his YouTube channel in May of 2021, and his gameplay immediately caught the attention of thousands, myself included. Using pure logbait, he consistently secured high ladder finishes, often finishing top in seasons. He became so popular that he basically became the face of logbait, who solidified the archetype to still work in modern Clash Royale. Outside of his usual logbait content, Ryley took a serious step toward competitive play in 2023. His first major move was joining the Kalalas Cup Teams Edition, where he competed as part of a team known as the Rocketeers. A fun fact, Ian77 was also part of that team. The rules were simple. Teams of 4 would compete against each other to qualify for the cup, and then the best teams competed. The Rocketeers opened their run in the first Kalalas Cup 2023 qualifiers with a promising performance, securing back-to-back wins against CF Esports and Acer 2023. Their bracket progression, however, came to a stop when they faced Fierce Force, who ultimately eliminated them and pushed the team into a 17th to 32nd placement for that stage. Interestingly, match records on Wikipedia indicate that Ryley did not appear in the active lineup of any of these series. Instead, the team relied on Dark Angel and Ian77 to play out the sets. The second round of qualifiers didn't offer much improvement. After a shaky start, the Rocketeers were knocked out by their third opponent, STG Tickus, cutting their run short once again, and preventing them from advancing deeper into the tournament. Ryley then participated in the A-Tier Clash Royale League 2023 from seasons 3 to 5. Ryley successfully made it through day 1 of the qualifier and was placed into Group E alongside Surgical Goblin, Lord Seb, and Hero. When the group stage kicked off on May 7th, 2023, his first matchup was against the Japanese player Hero, whom he defeated with a clean 2-0 sweep. His next opponent, however, was Lord Seb, an entirely different challenge, resulting in a tough 0-2 loss. In the second round of group play, Ryley had to face each opponent again. His rematch with Hero started strong, with Ryley taking the first game, but Hero responded with a win of his own, tying the set 1-1. Ryley managed to clutch the final game out and secure the overall win, but unfortunately the rematch with Lord Seb didn't go his way. Despite taking one game off him, Ryley lost the other 2, ending the set with another defeat. As for the monthly final, Muhammad Light won. Ultimately, Riley placed 17th to 24th, and he did win $500, so that was still something. Riley didn't stop there though. He pushed on and tried again the following season. Unfortunately, the results weren't any kinder to him. He finished with 3 wins and 3 losses, ending the run in the middle of the pack, while Victor 75 ultimately emerged as the, victor of the group. And, well, the season was won again by Muhammad Light. Surprise, surprise. Still determined, Riley pushed into the next season, and this time things finally started looking better. He was placed in Group B alongside Faust, Dominic, and Venom. His opening match was against Faust, the German pro, which he ended up losing, but he bounced right back with a tight 2-1 victory over Venom before falling to Dominic. In the second rotation through the group, Riley gathered real momentum. He defeated Faust in the rematch, then took victories over both Dominic and Venom, putting himself within reach of taking first place overall. He came extremely close to topping the group, but in the end, Faust edged him out. Both players were running nearly identical decks, and Faust's execution was just slightly stronger when it mattered most. Riley ultimately placed 36th in CR League 2023. He gave it another shot the following year, entering the February 2024 qualifiers, but the run didn't unfold the way he hoped. He fell short in 3 of the qualifiers and only managed to break through in 1, only to be eliminated there as well, this time by the French player Remain. You might be surprised hearing about all these losses from Riley, and honestly, while researching this script, I was just as shocked by how many times he fell short on the competitive stage. But what really matters is that he never stopped trying. He kept pushing, kept entering, and kept fighting for that breakthrough. April 2024 marked Riley's first major breakthrough when he found success in the Kalalas Cup 2024. He qualified for Stage 2 and was placed in Group D alongside Lucas, Sandbox, Crazy Hulk, and a familiar face, Faust. Riley managed to defeat Faust as well as the other opponents, with his only loss coming against Lens. Despite that single setback, his strong performance earned him a spot as one of the 4 victors advancing from Group D. And it was time for the last stage. In the final bracket, Riley faced his first opponent, Ian77, his rival and close friend, on May 3rd, 2024. Riley came out strong, winning both matches convincingly. His next opponent was another familiar face, Lord Seb, who had recently defeated Muhammad Light 2-0. Lord Seb took that first game, but Riley bounced back to win the next 2, taking the series 2-1. Following that, Riley faced EGW and dominated with a 2-0 sweep. In the next round, he met Russian player Tourist, who also stood little chance against Riley's momentum, and Riley advanced effortlessly. This was it. Riley was close to winning for the very first time. And finally, it was time for the grand finals, and Riley faced Tourist once again. To claim his first ever place finish, he needed to win 2 matches. The first clash took place on May 5th, and Tourist was ready to fight, taking the first 2 games in a strong showing. But Riley didn't back down, and the next set he came back with full force, winning both games and securing the championship, officially making him the winner of the Kalalas Cup 2024. And when you win once, you don't stop, you aim even higher. And that's exactly what Riley did. Fresh off his Kalalas Cup victory, he set his sights on qualifying once again for CR League 2024. And this time, things went far better than they had in 2023. He cleared day 1 without issue and advanced into Group E, where he faced Samuel Basoto, Reiki Jones, and Coco. Riley defeated all 3, and for the first time in his CR League journey, emerged as the outright victor of his group. Riley started popping off in the monthly finals. His next opponent was none other than Muhammad Light, and he opened the match by taking the first game, a huge statement win. The second game didn't go nearly as smoothly, with Muhammad Light striking back to even the score, and it all came down to a final decisive game. Unfortunately for Riley, he held his ground and secured the victory. Next opponent was Pedro, and well, unfortunately, he lost both games to him. In the lower brackets, he was doing well. He beat EGW, and then he had to face Muhammad Light again, but Muhammad was prepared to face Riley. And the second game, well, unfortunately, Riley wasn't able to get past Pedro or Muhammad Light in the final standings, leaving him in 4th place. But that is still a huge achievement, especially considering he couldn't even break into the top 10 during the 2023 CR League. And he made $5,000 on top of it, so that's a bonus. Across June and July of 2024, Ryley took part in a long stretch of Dragon League and GKR League qualifiers, producing a mix of early exits and a few strong runs. And ding ding ding, it was time for another CR League season. But before that, why don't you scroll down and ding that subscribe button. It takes a lot of effort and research to make these videos, so you'll be helping out a bunch. Thank you, and now on to the tournament. In Clash Royale League 2024, which ran from March 4th to August 17th, 2024, Ryley was competing once again. This leaderboard was based on performances across all 5 monthly seasons, and it awarded golden tickets to the World Finals. The top-ranked player on the leaderboard, who didn't already have a golden ticket, would earn one. This meant every monthly qualifier and final counted toward his long-term CRL standing, giving him a shot at a ticket even without winning a monthly final. And now, it was time for the monthly final. Ryley's first opponent in the bracket was Sandbox, a tough matchup right out of the gate. Despite putting up a solid performance, Ryley fell short in a close 2-1 series, which ultimately knocked him down to the lower bracket. It wasn't the start he wanted, but it set up a classic underdog run. Everybody loves a good comeback story. Ryley's second opponent was Agony King, his first elimination match. This time he came in sharp. Ryley battled through a scrappy set and managed to take the win 2-1. It wasn't flawless, but it was exactly what he needed. Survival, momentum, and a chance to keep fighting through the loser's side. Ryley's third opponent was Greco, a dangerous player who had just beaten Sub and was on a hot streak. Unfortunately for Ryley, the run ended here. Greco controlled the match and Ryley lost 0-2, finishing his lower bracket journey earlier than he hoped. It was a tough exit, but the kind where every match felt earned and every moment mattered. Ultimately, Ryley placed 5th place. Ryley also took part in the P.E.K.K.A vs Mega Knight Creator Showdown, the special event Supercell hosted to celebrate the release of both cards' evolutions. He joined Team P.E.K.K.A, lining up alongside some of the biggest names in the scene: Mohamed Light, Ian77, Ken Benaju, and David Rooney. Together, the squad delivered an outstanding performance throughout the event and ultimately secured first place, giving Ryley yet another highlight moment in his competitive and creator career. And finally, on the CRL 2024 community leaderboard, Ryley finished in an impressive 3rd place overall, showcasing just how consistent his year had been across multiple independent tournament circuits. And now it was time for Clash Royale League 2024 World Finals. 8 best players competing for the championship. Could Ryley win his first World Finals? Well, we'll see soon enough. Ryley began his World Finals journey in the upper bracket quarterfinals, where his first opponent was To, one of Japan's strongest competitors. It was a tight fight, but Ryley held his ground and closed out the series 2-1, advancing into the semifinals with momentum behind him. In the upper bracket semifinals, Ryley faced Sub, another high-level player who had just come off a strong win against Pedro. This match turned into one of the most important wins of Ryley's career. After dropping a game, he brought it back and won the series 2-1, securing his place in the upper bracket final, one step away from the grand final. The upper bracket final brought him face-to-face with the greatest player in CRL history, Mohamed Light. Ryley fought hard, but Mohamed Light was in peak form. Ryley lost 0-2, sending him to the lower bracket, where he had one last chance to reach the grand final. In the lower bracket final, Ryley met Lucas, who had just knocked out Sub. This match determined who would advance to the championship stage, and Ryley rose to the occasion. In an intense back-and-forth series, he defeated Lucas 2-1, punching his ticket to the grand final and guaranteeing at least 2nd place.
We need one more fireball! Ryley's got it! Ryley's got it! That's gonna do it!
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryley taking the most important best of 3 we've seen today!
The grand final was a rematch against Mohamed Light, the same opponent who had swept him earlier. This time, Ryley tried to adapt, but Mohamed Light remained unstoppable. Ryley fell 0-2, securing 2nd place at the 2024 World Finals, earning $100,000 and marking the highest competitive placement of his career.
Throw up the lights, hit the sparks. Mohamed Light is now your 2-time world champion.
Before moving on, there is one moment from the World Finals that absolutely needs to be pointed out. During the Grand Final, the commentators were very clearly rooting for Mohamed Light, like blatantly. It was pretty biased. The match wasn't even over yet, only one tower had fallen, and they were already hyping Mohamed Light as the new champion before the final seconds even played out. Even fired the golden shower and the music, and Mohamed was like, we're not even finished though, what?
Still play to go, camera, don't... Why are we pulling away? They're running the gold. There's still gameplay. Folks, what are you doing? We're still going. Mo's like, dude, I didn't win yet.
It was pretty funny to watch, sure, but at the same time, it felt pretty disrespectful toward Ryley. And now that that's out of my system, from late 2024 into mid-2025, Ryley continued grinding through a series of events, producing a mix of solid runs and early exits. In CRL 2025 warm-up phase 2 and 3, he managed a respectable 5th, 6th place, followed by another 5th to 8th finish at jynxzi's World Cup Season 1. But then came the Clash Royale League 2025, and to the surprise of many of his fans, Ryley wasn't a presence at all. He tried to qualify, but his runs were shaky from the start, barely keeping him in contention. His final opportunity came in the last chance qualifier, and that's where everything fell apart. He lost badly to Wallace, and he lost badly to Coco, ending his qualification hopes on a rough note, and officially knocking him out of the CRL 2025 race. Despite his strong performances throughout 2024, the community was shocked when Ryley struggled to qualify for CRL 2025. Multiple Reddit threads quickly filled up with reactions, with many fans trying to make sense of how a 2024 World Finals runner-up suddenly found himself outside the qualification race. Some users argued that Ryley's peak year might have been a perfect storm rather than a new standard, with one commenting, "To be fair, Ryley had a lucky run last year." Others pointed out how unforgiving top-level competition has become, noting that the difference between qualifying and falling short is often decided by the smallest details. When you're at that level, the skill gap is tiny. Bad starting hands and pressure can affect everyone. But the discussion didn't stop at gameplay alone. A reoccurring topic was whether Ryley's increasing focus on streaming and content creation, especially his popular collaborations with jynxzi, may have impacted his competitive rhythm. And it is true, Ryley claimed it himself.
I don't think that I had CRL be my main focus this year like it was last year. I focused more on content, and I also had a bad start of the year, which kind of demotivated me to even, I guess, give it my all, because some unfortunate things happened in the year, and I just chose to I chose to prioritize what made me happy and what I had fun doing. So obviously, I still had CRL be a massive priority, but it wasn't my number one priority. So I think that reflected in the year, and maybe if I made it my main priority, maybe I would have. Well, I think I would have performed better, but I also it also wasn't what was making me the most happy, so I didn't choose to focus on it 100% like I did for my content. Last year, for example, during the CRL season, I skipped a lot of YouTube uploads, and I stopped streaming for a long time to be able to grind. And this year, quite the opposite. I started uploading on other channels. I started streaming with jynxzi, and I started doing a lot of other things, which I just loved. I just followed what I liked. Maybe this year, I'll enjoy competitive more, and if I enjoy it more, then I'll focus on it more.
These threads painted a picture of a player torn between two highly demanding worlds, esports and content creation. And while some saw this as a flaw, many others defended him, reminding the community that his results weren't as disastrous as critics claimed. And if we were in his shoes, I think we too would have chosen the money he made with jynxzi rather than CRL. The conversation around Ryley's personality and reputation was just as divided. Some suggested he was overhyped because of his popularity as a creator, while others felt that his criticism was unfair based on exaggerated perceptions. For a lot, he was the least toxic pro player, pushing back against the idea that he was disliked for attitude-related reasons. Meanwhile, other people believed his confidence could rub people the wrong way, saying things like he overhypes himself like crazy, even calling him ugly and hating his appearance. Especially back in 2024 World Finals, where he appeared live with this posture, which I gotta agree, damn Ryley, what is this posture, my dude? And there's also another thing we haven't covered. Ryley got banned 2 different times. Well, the first ban was because of a tiny money problem of Supercell lucky drops. Yes, the famous lucky drop incident. To briefly explain it, back in April of 2024, players discovered that if they opened a lucky drop while disconnected from the internet or in airplane mode, the game wouldn't kick them out right away. They had a brief moment to see the reward first. If they didn't like it, they could simply close the app, reconnect, and try again. There were no limits or penalties. You could repeat the trick endlessly until you got the reward you wanted. Until the jig was up and Supercell banned everyone who used it, including content creators like Ryley, who just tried it once to see if it worked or not. There's more to this controversy, so if you want to learn about what happened, we've already done a video related to this topic specifically, so go check it out when you're done watching this one. And as for the second ban, that happened in April to May of 2025. He was temporarily banned along with many other top players for 31 days for no particular reason, only to be unbanned 24 hours later. Despite everything happening in his competitive career, Riley still played a role in something much bigger. By early 2025, Clash Royale was on life support. Player numbers were dropping, updates were being slammed by the community, and backlash after backlash pushed many veterans into quitting. The game genuinely felt like it was fading away. But then the tide turned. Supercell listened a little bit, and a wave of massive creators, jynxzi, Mr. Beast, IShowSpeed, and several others, with Riley constantly appearing in their streams and videos, breathed new life into the game. Their chaotic energy, viral moments, and non-stop exposure pulled millions of eyes back onto Clash Royale. For the first time since 2017, the game hit its highest player count of the modern era, and Riley was part of that resurgence, helping to bring the game back into the spotlight when it needed it most. And that brings us to where Riley is today, living life, collaborating with creators, coaching YouTubers, and still placing near the top of global leaderboards. Despite the ups and downs, he remains one of the most recognizable and skilled players in the scene. God bless our Canadian green little goblin. But there is one more creator who didn't just keep Clash Royale alive, he made it fun again. His name is Ken. So go watch our video on him right now and see the incredible rise of the creator who changed everything. I'll see you there.